everyone, and welcome to the Positively Disney phone-in show. I'm so excited because this is one of my favorite times of year. I'm Kimberley Bouchard, your host for the show, and also the author of the Positively Disney book series that are heartwarming stories that will warm your heart, probably bring a tear to your eye. And they're available out there if you are interested for a fantastic Christmas present. At any rate, I'm so excited about this show because we are going to talk Disney. We are going to talk Christmas, including some of those crazy things that you might have done either in Disney or for the sake of Christmas. Anyways, one of the traditions in our family is gingerbread cookies. And I'll never forget when I first had children. And I was so excited because I love to do Christmas baking. And I thought it would just be really fun to do it as soon as I could with our daughter. So our daughter was about a year and a half old for her second Christmas. And the poor thing, I had her up in her high chair. We were rolling out the dough and cookies. And every time I took the cookies away to bake them, she cried her eyes out. So I felt kind of bad about that. But anyways, gingerbread is a big tradition. And I don't know if any of you have had the opportunity to see the gingerbread house at the Grand Floridian. It's absolutely fantastic. And I always have to buy a piece of gingerbread from them. And I always get like their slab of their roof or whatever to buy and have a little hot chocolate. It's one of my favorite things to do when I'm in the area at Christmas. Anyway, so number to call, 844-483-4763. If you'd like to share a Christmas tradition with us. In the back of me, you will see that I have, there's a couple of nutcrackers, Mickey nutcrackers. I have a nutcracker collection that I really love to put out. And they've actually been Christmas presents to me from my husband. And I also just wanted to point out, because I am all about tradition, and I know everybody has some sort of Christmas traditions in their family. And you'll see that there is a little stocking behind me over my left shoulder that is missing the eye for Kimmy. And that stocking is a little over 50 years old. So I'm not going to tell you my exact age, but it is something that my mom had made for us at Christmas. And I don't use it, but I always display it at Christmas. At any rate, the number to call, 844-483-4763. Have you guys ever done something crazy for Christmas? Well, I did. I've done a couple of really kind of interesting, crazy things for Christmas in the name of Christmas. Years ago, as a young single teacher, I was teaching on Vancouver Island in British Columbia. And my passenger, who was also my colleague and teacher, we would drive up. It was about a 40-minute drive up the highway every morning. And this one morning, it was in December, we noticed all the traffic lined up just to get into the city of Victoria. I mean, they were at a standstill. Now, we're not talking the freeways that you would find in the US. We're talking about an island highway that there was maybe 2 lanes tops. At any rate, I suggested to her, my friend, her name was Susan, said, why don't we pass out candy canes and wish these guys a happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, for the heck of it. Well, she thought it was a great idea. So we got Santa hats and we bought several hundred candy canes. And one morning we were all ready to go, put our hats on and grabbed our candy canes, parked at the side of the road, and I lost my nerve. Well, let's just say I was a little bit shy about doing that because I wasn't too sure how, first of all, it would go. And I was talking to perfect strangers on a highway. But she dragged me out of the car and we went about our business, wishing everybody a Merry Christmas. And I'll tell you, those transport trucks, when you're next door to them and you're trying to give them something to the window, they're pretty tall. At any rate, we had a great time. The next morning back in the staff room, some people were saying, did you see the news last night? These 2 women were passing out candy canes. And I stopped when I heard that. And I said, were they wearing Santa hats? And I was kind of getting a little, and here we had been on the news that night for doing that. So I don't know if you guys like to do kind of fun things like that. I know I try to carry some candy canes in my purse. And when I go to a merchant, I give them a candy cane and wish them Merry Christmas. I just saw something that I thought was really really neat. Some of you might have seen it as well. It was a post on one of the Disney Facebook pages, I believe. And it was a great idea. And I'm going to do this because I have packages that will be arriving probably all the way up to Christmas. But it was a big barrel, and there were a variety of drinks, water and juice, and different things for the drivers, the UPS drivers in that. I have a phone call from my friend George. George, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
It's good to hear from you.
I'm sitting here with a darkened Christmas tree because it doesn't get lit until St. Nicholas Day.
Oh, that's a great idea. I never thought of that. Well, I guess that's kind of good for me because my Christmas tree isn't going to light up because it's not decorated yet.
Mine, it has been decorated for about a week, so it's just waiting for light up.
Okay. So, and can you tell everybody when St. Nicholas Day is?
That is December 6th, the day after Walt Disney's birthday.
Yeah. Isn't that great? That's just around the corner. December 5th actually is our golden retriever's 8th birthday. So I just noticed that today. Anyways, so your tradition then is lighting up, I guess, your tree on the 6th.
Yeah, the first time the tree gets lit. Well, actually, it'll be lit for the first time on the eve of St. Nicholas tomorrow night.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So what?
And then I have candles in the windows, and they will get lit. You know, the electric candles, they will get turned on the Feast of St. Lucy on the 13th.
Yeah. Gosh.
So we kind of ease into the Christmas celebration.
That sounds lovely. That's a really neat tradition, actually. I don't have any candles in my window, but I notice people do have them, and it's just kind of nice. It's kind of old school, you know. I love it.
It's an old tradition that is a sign of welcome. Yeah. And they were to put a candle in the window on Christmas Eve to light the way for the Holy Family, or to let them know that they would have a welcome in that house.
Yeah, that's so nice. Gosh. So do you have any Disney in your house at Christmas?
I have a whole room of Disney in my house at Christmas.
Oh,
I have I have a 4-foot tree that I put all my Disney World ornaments. All the ornaments that came from there are on there. And when I was there in October, I found little lights that have the classic Mickey shape put over the lights.
Oh, cool.
So I have that on the tree too. And then there's a special ornament that my sister bought me, because it reminded her of the ornaments that my parents would put on their Christmas tree, which I still do at my homestead. And that one gets placed on a special holder at the bottom of the tree. And then I have 2 dancing Mickeys on the one table, and some Lennox ornaments that I have set out. And then I switch my Disney throws to the Christmas Disney throws.
Oh, I didn't realize you had Disney and then Christmas Disney. That's so awesome. That's great.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It's a year-round thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it is, isn't it? Oh, gosh. You know, I was talking to you about traditions, and, something that I have is when I left home in my 20s to make my way in the world, I took one of each kind of decoration that we had on the tree. And I actually have the star. It's a beautiful star. It's actually made out of gold cardboard or something that you have to kind of flip around. It still works. And I don't put it on the tree anymore. I actually put it on my nativity. It's a Star of David. That was my parents'. And I'm thinking that must be like, oh my gosh, I don't know, close to 60 years old, something like that, actually. And
I still use the ornaments that were my parents from 1960 on the tree in my homestead, and they're the old flock, that style, the 60s.
Yeah.
But I found some Mickey shaped ornaments, the classic Mickey shape, that are along that style, so they blend in very well. So I have Mickey classic Mickeys on my tree in my homestead.
Oh, fine. You should send me a photo. I'd love to see that.
I will do that.
Yeah, I just saw somebody that had like we have the monorail, but it's more for decoration now. But I saw
Hmm.
somebody that had the whole setup, like with the castle and the contemporaries and all that, all around their tree, which is kind of neat. You wouldn't be able to have cats, I don't think, to have that. But
I have icicles on my tree. There are no cats in this house.
yeah, yeah. What's interesting is, some of those old school decorations, they're starting to kind of come back. I know for
Mhm.
the original Christmas lights, that we had back in the 60s.
The
I
C7s, the big ones.
Yeah, I bought them. Like I've got the LED lights up behind me, but you know what? I just
I
love
have them.
those.
I have them too.
I love the classics though.
It is the classics.
Mm.
And even at Disney, they're recognizing that. If you've seen some of the shirts they're putting out
Yeah,
for the classic attractions, it has that style of the old signs that are in front of Magic Kingdom,
that's great.
advertising the attractions.
Mm.
And unfortunately, I will not get down there this holiday season.
Okay. Well, I'll send you photos.
Thank you, because you'll be going down.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to be going just during. I saw on somebody's calendar about the kind of crowd levels at Walt Disney World, and it kept getting like a darker shade of red. And yeah, we're going to
New
be.
Year's is worse.
Yeah, we're going to be there the week of, and but I got reservations for New Year's Eve. This year we're going to try Epcot because it was about, I think, yeah, two years ago when it was the Osborne lights that aren't there anymore. I miss them.
I know.
Yeah, that were their last Raha, and we went and spent New Year's at Magic Kingdom, and I think you only want to do that once because I think there's like 85 or 90,000 people there. And it was wild. But at least we could say we spent New Year's at Magic Kingdom. And this year, though, we're going to do it at Epcot. I kind of want to just check out Epcot. And we've got a really, really early reservation, which is fine. But it's really easy to get decent food, takeout food there, from the variety of, places in the World Showcase, right? So, yeah.
Now you mentioned the gingerbread house at Grand Floridian.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the chocolate and gingerbread carousel at the Beach Club?
Oh my gosh!
It has 4 horses. It actually turns. Here's a listing of all the ingredients, and there are little silver. I believe they're silver hidden Mickeys, and there's so many of those around. And as the carousel turns, you can see them on the horses and on the roof and on the floor.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
And then every year they put a different character at the very top of the carousel. But it's not it's a good sized carousel, not quite as big as the gingerbread house,
okay.
but it is quite beautiful, and of course the smell in the lobby. But that is at the Beach Club.
The Beach Club. Oh, I'm going to check that out because I'm all about the chocolate too. And when they have the gingerbread men all year round dipped in chocolate, it's like really this is the best.
And of course, then seeing the different trees in the resorts too. At the Fort Wilderness and then the Animal Kingdom Lodge and that, which is very interesting.
Oh gosh, speaking of the trees, I mean, we have not. It's funny because we've not made it to many of the resorts at Christmas time. We kind of have our go-to ones but I'm definitely going to check out the Beach Club. But there's a beautiful tree. It's actually a painting with Larry Dot that I think one of his first ones with Larry Dotson, and it's a Christmas scene, and it's so beautiful because it shows the tree outside of Animal Kingdom, and it shows the ticket area, the entrance area, closed for the night, and it's so serene. It's so beautiful. It's just like you get the whole idea of no creature was stirring, not even a mouse. That's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw his painting. And he studied a lot of the ornaments before he painted it. And I wanted to show everybody tonight, but because I absolutely love that painting, and as I said, it's one of his first, and it's a Christmas one. But yeah, I'll have to see about checking out the trees. I can imagine they're all themed according to the resorts, are they? Or
They're all themed according to the resorts. Some are very large at some of the resorts, but even like the art of animation, very bright, very colorful decorations. I would take a day and just go to the various resorts, or take 2 or 3 days and do part of the day and just go into the resorts. Not stopping and eating at their restaurants.
Oh, wow. That sounds lovely. I don't know how much time we're going to be able to do that, but it's something definitely people have to realize that they don't have to go to the parks. They can enjoy the resorts just as much, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And it is wonderful. And then at the Contemporary, they also have a display. It is like facing more toward Magic Kingdom. I believe it's on the second or third level. And usually that's been a frozen display, and it's wonderful. They have little hidden Mickeys in there as well.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to check this out. I see that my hubby is on, and yeah, we're gonna have to definitely check that out. Oh gosh, that's so.
As long as there's chocolate.
Oh yeah, yeah, I know. I like chocolate. I know that I should be eating dark chocolate more often, but I still it's the milk chocolate. I can't resist. But that is so nice to hear. I'm definitely going to check out the trees, and if people that are on here can't actually be in the parks or in the vicinity, I'm sure they would have them on the internet somewhere. The photos of the trees, right?
Yeah. But it is worth taking the time to go see, and it's a nice break away from the crowd.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Yeah, because everybody's everybody's in the parks, right? You're not hanging around.
Yeah, everybody's at the parks, and there's those little hidden treasures.
Yeah. Oh, I'll remember. I'm going to remember to do that. And it's really fascinating how I'm sure they have how they made the carousel as well on a recording on the internet too. I know it's been really neat. Have you seen how they've made the gingerbread? Like they do it a fast forward, kind of thing. But it's amazing. That's how, and that's how I kind of when I had talked about changing the park into Christmas overnight. I mean, they have that fast forward scenes of that too.
I've seen that. Yes,
incredible. And people work there's a massive warehouse that people work in all year to spruce up the decorations, paint, whatever. Because as you know, that everything is perfect when it's out there, And
I have heard it's a different world at that time. About 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, lights are turned on that are like bright as the sun. I mean, it's like daylight. And there is an army of cast members that come in and clean and polish and scrub and repaint, touch up, and that.
That would be so cool to shadow, wouldn't it? Just to,
yes, it would.
To see that?
Yes, it would.
Oh, yeah, because we don't see that part at all. Like we don't, I mean, why would we? Unless we were a cast member, right? But I think that would be really fun to shadow. Thanks, Father George, for sharing that.
You are most welcome, Kimberly. Yes, we'll be in touch talking about our plans for 2018 in June. So
yes, I know that's coming up pretty quick.
I was told we're less than 200 days. So.
Oh wow! Is it okay? That's that. Yeah, that is kind of right around the corner, isn't it? Yeah, we'll talk soon. We'll talk before the holidays, actually. Okay.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Yes, we will.
Sounds good. Okay, thanks. Have a good night.
Enjoy your trip. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Take care.
Okay, Kim.
Bye. Oh my goodness. Wow. Every time I do this show, I learn something new all the time. And it never even occurred to me to go visit all the other resorts at Christmas. I just kind of, go to my own and check out the Grand Floridian at for the gingerbread house. But yeah, definitely going to be checking out a few of the others, especially with the themed Christmas decorations. I was talking about crazy things that people can do at Christmas. And, I thought I would share that there's one thing that my son and I did last year. And actually, there's somebody that has been trying to call in. And I just wanted to know that we are actually, I was just on the phone. She was kind of wondering if anybody is trying to call in and you can't get through right away, just know to keep trying. And we've got our other call. So I'll tell you about the other story in a moment. Hi, welcome to the show.
Hey, it's Lauren.
Oh, hi, Lauren. Thanks for persevering. Yeah, I was on the other call, and I have to remind people that if you can't get in, try a few times. It means that I'm talking on the phone. But welcome. How are you doing this evening?
Good, you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. Just getting very excited about the season, and but I can't do too much Christmas until after the weekend when the romance edition is finished, the third book of the Disney series, and so I've just been concentrating on that right now. But yeah, so I was curious, do you have any Christmas traditions or Disney Christmas traditions or anything that you want to share, Disney or Christmas today with us?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have really a lot of Disney Christmas traditions. I do have one though.
Okay.
A really good friend of mine and I, her name's Kate. She's awesome. I've known her since 2007. We became friends, and we have this Christmas tradition. In fact, hopefully we're going to try and get it done this week or next week, where we watch one of our favorite Disney television specials together and just have a lot of fun and pretty much enjoy it, but obviously commentate on it as well, because we've seen it so many times that it's still a joyous half an hour that we have. And the special I'm talking about it was in the 90s, and it still holds up today because the music's great, the storyline's awesome, it has a lot of heart. It's The Adventures in Wonderland. Special. It's called Christmas in Wonderland.
Oh,
and
gosh.
It's really, really awesome. It talks about. Well, before I go on, do you mind if I share a little bit of what it is?
No, absolutely. Tell that. Yeah, I'd love
without
to.
giving your.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, so in short, Adventures in Wonderland was a show back in the 90s. It was a live action version of Lewis Carroll's book. Actually, the show was a lot better.
Oh.
A lot less confusing.
Yeah.
And it had really good music and really awesome Broadway gospel singer stars on it. And the cast was very diverse, which I appreciated. And it was just really, really awesome. So basically what this episode is Alice brings Christmas cards for everyone in Wonderland. And when she hands the queen her card, everyone else is marveling at the fake snow that Alice has put on the card, like obviously glitter and, all that stuff that we used back then.
Right.
But because they've never seen it before, at least we think they've never seen it before, but the queen starts acting very weird and she just gets very quiet. And that's just not like her. She's usually like, saying, this is what I wanted, this is what's going to happen. And because I'm the queen, I said so, I'm saying, but she's actually a lot nicer than the book and the movie, but she still has that sharp edge to her.
Yeah.
Yes. And so they're wondering, what's wrong? What's happening here? Did we jump in a Twilight Zone? Because usually she's not like this. And Alice feels bad because she didn't mean to, hurt her feelings. She has no idea what's going on. So then you find out that the queen has seen snow before. And looking at the card and listening to Alice sing about it brought back those childhood memories, but they were good, but she misses it. And this is a different side to her that we see, and it's so beautifully done, because she tells the story to Rabbit, who she usually is yelling and barking orders at, and thinks he's her right in command. So she's usually saying, Rabbit, do this, do that. And even in the middle, earlier in the episode, she was doing that. But in this scene, you just want to hug her because that's all she wants. And it's never snowed in Wonderland before in their entire lives. And it's just a really good, well thought out story about what the true meaning of Christmas is really about. And the fact that it is a time for miracles, and even weather miracles, as it were, at the end of the episode when we see snow actually coming down for the first time. And it's also a lesson in what people will do for you if you let them, because she wants snow and they want to help her, but they have no idea how to get it there. So Hatter and Hare, being Hatter and Hare, I love these guys. At least there's this portrayal of them. Hatter, his homage and sticklage in this show is making different inventions that he thinks will help the queen, but end up basically not helping her. So, for example, in this one, he makes a snow machine and it has a meltdown. Virtually, like it throws water on her instead of actual snow. But it is such a good episode. I mean, I recommend it, even if you've never seen an episode of the show in your life. You need to look this up on YouTube because it is up there. The whole thing is up there. It's not cut. It's not merged. It's completely, at least I think it is. But anyway, even if it is cut, and even if it is like 3 parts, you still, it's beautiful, and it's one of my favorite
and
holiday specials.
What is the exact name of it, Lauren?
It's called Disney's Adventures in Wonderland, Christmas in Wonderland.
Okay. And
Christmas in Wonderland is the episode title.
Okay. And if people want to find that show now that you've told us about it, can they only find it on a YouTube, or do you think Netflix?
Yeah. Okay. So I wish that from your mouth to God's ears and the Disney executives over there who seem to forgot about it. Yeah, that would be great if they did put it on Netflix, but it's not up there yet.
Okay.
But it is on YouTube. There was almost the whole entire series on YouTube. Somebody did it, and it's mostly in very good condition. Some of them you need to watch in 3 parts, like part A, part B, part C. Some of them were totally like in one, which is like 28 minutes. It was a long show back then when they did that without any fear of anything.
Right.
And it's so awesome. I mean, besides the Christmas one, I just love the way they have different song styles for the different characters. Like the Tweedles are really awesome. They're African American rappers and step dancers. So their songs for the Queen are always like in rap. It's clean rap, obviously. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's about, like eating healthy, grammar. They did one on spelling, which was actually a lot of fun. They did one on making piñatas for a fiesta they were throwing for the Queen, trying to teach her to learn Spanish. That one's hilarious because she doesn't want to learn it. That's the funny part. Everyone else is speaking it fluently, like speaking it around her, and she's like, I want to learn this. No. And then she finally has to. Because the Cheshire Cat, and he's like one of my favorite characters on that show because obviously it's a puppet, but what I love about him, he just loves to tip the Queen off. Like he will say things to her, and it's like it's getting her to learn, getting her to get past herself. But it usually takes him like saying something to her that just gets her so mad that she has to figure out what he did or why he said that. So that's what happens in the Spanish episode. He speaks to her completely in Spanish, and she's so aghast thinking he said something horrible, which he didn't. But she doesn't know that because she doesn't take the time to learn it. So that's what gets her to finally open up that dictionary and really find out what he said, because she's like, when I find out what he said, the fir's really going to fly.
Oh gosh. Isn't it neat to just, there are some real hidden gems that some people I think have forgotten about because, and some people I hadn't even seen that. Like I've never seen that one before. And, we have a VHS tape from, I think the late 90s, it must have been late 90s or early 2000s. And it's a Disney kind of arts and crafts show. And oh my gosh, my kids I love to watch it because it, they make it all look pretty good and pretty together, and it's really fun.
Do you remember what it was called? Was it Out of the Box?
Oh, I don't remember what it was called. I'm sorry. Yeah, but it was.
I was just curious.
Yeah, we still have it actually. We haven't watched it and don't have any reason to watch with my kids older right now, But it was it was one of those things that I had not really seen. I've not seen it again, and it's kind of older, but it's a good one. And I always think I've seen everything, and then Disney comes out with something else. And I remember the Muppets Christmas Carol, which I thought was absolutely hilarious because
I love that.
I love
That's
the
my favorite Muppet.
Muppets. I love the Muppets. They're just they make me smile every single time. And even though we've seen there's the Muppet in 3D at Hollywood Studios, we still go to that one every single time because it's the same corny jokes and everything like that, but it's still just a lot of fun. They're some of my favorite. Yeah.
That was your fault, Raja. I was trying to put you up on your tree and you decided to jump on my arms and almost fall.
Anyway, so thanks, Lauren, for sharing that with us. And I hope people will have a chance to take a look at that because that sounds like
no problem. I mean, it is a great show. And like I said, it stands the test of time because my best friend and I, we're not kids anymore. We still love it because it just has that magic that when you sit down and watch it, you're transported back to that time. But even more, it really does bring you joy over and over and over again. I would love to see a new generation learn homonyms and antonyms and synonyms from them because that's what their thing was. It was language. They taught language arts lessons without you knowing you were learning.
Which is great. That's a great way to do it.
Which was what it was.
Yeah.
But I had a question for you before we end.
Yeah.
Is there I would love to read your first book, and so would my friend Becca. We're the hosts of that. She's my best friend and co-host for the podcast that I told you about.
Yeah.
I was wondering how we can make that happen because I really would love to read some of these stories to see what other people's, experiences were like with the movies and the parks and all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of ways, and I'll reach out to you again about that because I know we had talked a little bit about it. If anybody is interested in the Positively Disney books, they can either order them on Amazon or they can go to their local bookstore and order them as well. They're available.
Yeah, because she's blind too, and she just recently lost her ability to read print.
Yeah, so I'll tell you how I can get a book to you if you are not able to read it yourself. So I'll talk to you about that either later tonight or tomorrow.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay.
But it was really great to talk with you.
You too. Thanks for calling in. That was so
It was
lovely.
awesome to talk again. And hopefully we'll get you on because we both want to talk with you so badly about, your books and your life and just talk Disney with someone.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful. Thanks for asking me. And I'll definitely be on in the new year. And but I'll as I said, I'll be in touch with you the next either
awesome.
or tomorrow.
If I don't talk, I actually won't talk before Navidad, but Feliz Navidad in advance.
Feliz Navidad y Año Nuevo.
Yes, definitely.
That's what we all learn that. Take care. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, talk to you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh gosh, it's always fun to hear what somebody's favorite Christmas show is. And I just thought before I go on here, I wanted to say hi to Todd. And there's a few of you on there that I miss saying hello to. At any rate, one of my favorite shows, and I don't think it's a Disney produced show, but Tim Allen, of course, does a lot for Disney, is Christmas with the Cranks. And it's, I'll tell you, I love that show, and my family knows that we watch it. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it as well as the mom. And I don't know about you guys, but I can sure relate to Mrs. Crank in that Christmas show. It's Nora Crank, and it's just so fun how she tries to make the best in a last minute kind of situation. And I like to be prepared, but sometimes things can catch you off guard and you don't necessarily get things done as quickly as you want. And we have our annual Christmas party each year on the 23rd of December. We make it a drop in between, 6 and midnight, but it tends to go longer than that. And there's about 85 people that kind of show up. And, the first time we did a party like that, we were in Canada and it was winter out and we had an issue. We realized at the very last minute, where are we going to put all the winter coats, and all the winter boots, because when you add about 60 to 80 pair of outdoor shoes, you don't have the room. So those are kind of some things I remember scrambling, and I can kind of relate to Mrs. Nora Crank. So if anybody has a chance to see that movie, it's one of my favorites for Christmas. So I was talking about another crazy thing that I did with my middle child, my son, last year, when I don't know if you guys remember that the Nintendo, the NESs, those the old school games were all the rage, very difficult to find. My friend actually had gone out with her husband one day at like 4 a.m, couldn't get them. They only allowed, maybe 4 to 7 of them or 8 of them, not even 8 actually, in a store. Sometimes Toys R Us were like backed up 3 hours just to get it. So I wanted to get this for my husband. She was telling me about it. I thought, oh, it's a great gift, because what do you buy your husbands that really nobody really needs anything these days, but we kind of wanted to do something fun. So my son Christoph was so nice, and he came out with me. We got up at like 3:50 in the morning, dressed with all our warm clothes, warm boots. We had extra, I think, a couple pairs of socks, big parka on, gloves, and our toques. And I know that some people might think, what in the world is a toque? Well, anybody that's Canadian watching will know that a toque is a knitted hat, like a ski hat or whatever. And anyways, we stood out there. We got there at about 5 a.m. It was at a Target in another city. And we were the first ones in line. However, we saw somebody else come out of their car. They had gotten there at 2 a.m. And to make it all civilized, they would give you these tickets and say, okay, what are you here for? Because there was something else, I can't remember now, that was the big ticket item as well. At any rate, we were successful. I actually managed to get 2 of them, one for my friend that couldn't get hers at 4 a.m, another morning, and found out that was pretty much the last round of ones that would be coming into the store. So that was kind of a crazy thing to do, standing out until the store opened. And I think we were out there like for 3 hours. It was kind of crazy. But anyways, if you want to call in and share a quick story with us, or a Disney experience, 844-483-4763 is the number. And I don't know if any of you have had the good fortune to partake in the candlelight processional, or been a part of it as an audience member. I will never forget our first time, and then we went to it last year because we went just before Christmas. But the candlelight processional at Epcot is one of my favorite things that we have to do if it's still going on when we're there, which is so phenomenal to hear all the voices and the narrator. I think it was Neil Patrick Harris that was narrating the last time we were there. And he's a really, really good narrator. I actually worked with him on a film in Canada many, many years ago, and it was titled A Christmas Blessing, and him and Amanda Seyfried were right there beside me. I was not part of their conversation, but I was in the scene with them. So if anybody has seen that, A Christmas Blessing, they will notice me holding my coffee cup behind them and drinking my fake coffee. But at any rate, it was such a wonderful experience at the Candlelight Processional. And if you get the dinner package, it's even better, because then you kind of get VIP seats. And apparently it was not always held there. I can't even remember when they moved it to Epcot, but originally I believe it was at the Magic Kingdom, and there it wasn't something that you had to pay for. And I would imagine that if you are nearby the processional, you can still hear everything, and that you don't have to pay for tickets to see it. But really love that. And of course, the very Merry Christmas party, Mickey's Christmas party. And I will never forget our first year at it. We were thinking, we were from Alberta. We were thinking that, oh, you know what? It's going to be really warm. We don't have to have anything to worry about. And because we were there in December, traveling from Canada, was pretty cold in Alberta. And so we had our all our gear to keep warm. but boy, that's a different cold at night. And we were pretty cold. And so if anybody is going to the Mickey Christmas party, double check the weather because it can get cold in Florida. And I remember staying at Fort Wilderness. I love Fort Wilderness at Christmas. It's so beautiful. There's people that go there. I've been going there for years and years and years. And honestly, I don't know where they store all this stuff in their RVs, but they have the lights, the whole, like a bazillion extension cords to light up their whole camping area. But it's really fun. And that's something that you can do is just take the bus over from or not the bus, but the boat over from Magic Kingdom, and they dock right there, and you can just walk around the campground or take the bus in and back again. But it's absolutely amazing. And I haven't been able to get into the campgrounds this year. It does take a lot of planning a year in advance, but I didn't plan for a year in advance. So we've got some other accommodation arrangements, but it's absolutely beautiful there if you can get over to Fort Wilderness and take a look. But I'll never forget the one year it was a wreck. We've been to Disney at Christmas when it's been record high heat. Like last Christmas, it was like middle of August, which was so cool. And then we'd been there actually for one of the coldest snaps. And it was so cold that they actually came around and told you to leave your taps on, just dripping a little bit, because they didn't want the pipes to freeze. And that I'll never forget that Christmas, because I was first of all startled that it got that cold. But the coolest thing is we got fresh grapefruits for breakfast in the morning. We just stood on the picnic table and pulled off fresh grapefruits and ate them for breakfast. It was the best. They were the best grapefruits I'd ever had in my life, actually. At any rate, we're just about ready to end the show. Again, if you want to call in 844-483-4763, this will be the last show until January 15th. I would have done it January 8th, but that is, well, besides Elvis Presley's birthday, it's my husband's birthday, so I didn't want to do any podcasting on his special day. At any rate, I just wanted to really share with you my gratitude for you guys joining me on my podcast journey. I can't believe we're at episode 14, and I feel like just an infant compared to the rest of you that have like in the hundreds of episodes. You've been doing that for quite a while, and I really enjoy having the opportunity to do this and hear from you guys, because I really, I find that with this Disney family of ours, it brings out the best in people, something that I wish for all to find that spirit in their holiday season and all year round. And it's just, I feel very grateful to belong to this community and be able to share with you and to hear some of your stories and experiences. And I really look forward to hearing from you in the new year. And I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a wonderful New Year. And be safe. And until 2018, we will see you January 15th. Take care, everybody. Good night.